Sitting here with the infamous Kobie Dee.
What's going on, bros?
Chapter 26, the new project. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so chapter 26 for me is about, being at the 26th chapter in my life at the moment. I'm 26 at the moment, and a lot of the tracks that I recorded were from just the past year, this 26th chapter in my life. And it's pretty much just like a big recap of everything from when I was a young fella, starting with statistic, then going through fatherhood. I've got the Father's Eyes interlude on there as well. It's like kind of like a extended part to Father's Eyes. And then I speak about my partner. I speak about, building a studio here in my neighborhood. I speak about, Jody went gold. I speak about having, getting my first gold plaque, and so much stuff's happened just in this 26th chapter of my life.
Yeah.
And I felt like it really needed to be highlighted, and because this past year, like going back this time last year till now, has just been like, there's so much has happened, I got engaged, I had another baby, so much stuff's happened that, back even from, when we used to knock around when I was young, like at that point in my life, I didn't see none of this stuff for myself, and to now, so much has happened, and I just wanted to highlight that with this EP. It's funny because now I'm speaking about the past and when I was younger and stuff, and all my earlier music, Same Old Shit, This Life, those kind of songs, I was speaking to a future self, and it's kind of like there is that battle of speaking to my past self and then speaking as my present self, and I'm just a completely different person now, and I guess that comes with becoming an adult and becoming a man and all these different things, for as a young fella, I just didn't see for myself, becoming an adult, a mature adult, or having a family and all of these different things. So for me, it's the stuff that I write about now is, one, it's speaking to my younger self and speaking about that stuff, and it's about bringing awareness to young people that are going through the same thing,
Yeah.
And it's I've been there, and this is how it turned out for me, but this is where I'm at now.
Yeah.
Continue speaking about mental health and all these things is definitely massive for me, because it's something that's happened too often. We've lost too many friends to mental health, and that are stuck in that same cycle, and so I'm just going to always continuously speak about that stuff because it's what means the most to me.
Too solid, brother. And you mentioned it just before, and I was going to ask you about these ones, like the Jodys, about a girl, Same Old Shit, This Life, Still Standing, even back then rapping. What was the hunger back then, bros?
Songs like Jody, I was just in my room and I sat up writing until 3 a.m, about a girl. I remember writing that, and that was being inspired by, a girl that I knew, and a collective of stories. And for me, it was a girl that I knew that had gone down that path of being on drugs and being with an older man, and it's such a common story. And for me, it was I just thought I wonder how her life would be if she didn't go down that path, and it was just the inspiration from that. It was I just want to write about that. I want to write a story of something that is so common, and I think just my love for movies was a massive part of me just wanting to write these stories. Still Standing was, for me, was I wanted to speak about stuff that other people wouldn't sit down and speak about, some people wouldn't sit down and have a conversation about it, but they'll probably listen to it in a song, and so for me, I seen something in that, and I'm well, maybe if I can put something, informative or something that's going to educate people, people that wouldn't sit down and actually listen to these stories and research this stuff themselves, they'll listen to this song and do the research for themselves after that. It's at least starting that conversation. And that was just being a young fella, just wanting to, I don't know, just start those conversations, So that's where a lot of those songs come from, was just pure wanting to just tell a story. that's most of my stuff. I just want to tell a story. I want to tell my story. I want to tell stories that mean something to me.
Yeah. What's the hunger for Kobie Dee now? What pushes you to write these songs now, cuz?
Now, you know, I've got 3 kids now, you know, like, so there's a lot that comes from having kids that, for me, it's like that legacy and like wanting to leave that legacy behind, and also like wanting to build a future for my kids, and wanting my kids to, you know, to see that like if they follow their dreams, they can make it, you know, if they, no matter what, like whatever they're passionate about, whatever they love to do, you know, because for me, it just started just right here as a young kid, and this was my passion. This is what I love to do, and I stuck with it and I followed it. And I want my kids to see that, you know. We've had so many people pave the way for us. You know, when you think of like Uncle Archie Roach, and you think of, you know, Briggs, and you think of, you know, YRMC, and all these fellas from when we was young, you know, and like now we're those people to the next generation, you know. We're the ones paving the way for the next generation, and like there's so much responsibility that I feel within that. That's a big drive for me too. You
mentioned your daughters and your family and stuff, bro. You got sis Jade there, wife and that. Done a song for her there.
Lifetime with Miss Kaninna.
Bro, when I seen you in the studio and that, I'm like, this is a hectic lineup, you know what I mean? And I waited for some real rap shit to kick in, and you just didn't do that. This, sorry, bro, I can continue. I was wanted to, it hit me, man. This shit's mad.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. It was like, it was different for the both of us. You know, and because a lot of people just know her from her rapping because she's, you know, on purposely she's done that. You know, she wants people to, you know, like hear the rapping first and stuff. But her voice is crazy. She's got such a beautiful voice, and so then when we went through the beats and then that beat come up, it was like it was at a point when I was like missing being back home, you know, with family, and you know, like I wanted to write something dedicated to my family and to my partner, and you know, like once that beat come along with a lot of other beats that I like put in the bank, I was like, I like that one, but this one was like, this one I can see on my EP, because for chapter 26 it was about everything that's, you know, happened in this 26th chapter in my life, everything that's brought me to here, everything that means the most to me. And I was like, that's probably the one thing that's missing, is like a song about, you know, my partner. And so when that beat come up, we got to writing and thinking of someone for the hook, and thought of Miss Kaninna, and I've heard her sing, you know, and I've obviously hearing her live, and knowing how beautiful her voice is, and knowing that it's going to be different for her. So then when we reached out, she was like super keen, and like I think her thinking was the same thing. Like she was like, like, you know, wanted to show her, you know, her diversity, and like, you know, rapping to singing, and you know, so yeah, she sent back something super quick, you know, a little demo, and I was just like straight away, I was like, that's it, like we got it. And then I come back to Sydney, and she flew up, and we did a session, and it was sick. She's so sick to work with too.
Seeing you evolve over the years, and then you done the block party here, and then you done it again, and you went to Maroubra, and then you come back here. Just the growth, lad, it's crazy. Can you tell us a little bit about the block parties?
The inspiration really come from Dave Chappelle's block party. You know, for me, that's where I was like, because you see like Kanye, you've got like Fugees, you know, Common, like all these different artists, and then you look down the front, bro, and there's a 17-year-old J. Cole. He's a young fella, you know, like, and I don't know if many people spot it, but you can see him just standing there in the crowd, just as like, you know, someone just listening. I think he's 17 or 18 at the time. And for me, I was like, how inspiring is that to see like an artist like J. Cole, who's he's one of the biggest rappers now, there in that crowd watching the biggest artists of that time, you know? So for me, that was like, that was a big thing of like, I want to do a block party and bring just some artists, like some of the biggest artists in the country to here, right here in Lexo, you know? it was around a time, you know, we'd lost so many friends to suicide and so many people here in the community, and the only time that we'd see the whole community together, like literally everyone, was funerals, you know, and like a couple suicides that happened, and I just remember seeing people that like I hadn't seen in years, you know, and all there, you know, we're all grieving together. And for me, it was like, and for the boys, that we wanted to bring the community together. That was for a happy reason, you know, and for something positive, and in honor of them as well, you know, and something that didn't involve drugs and alcohol as well, because the only time that, you know, a lot of us would be together was if we were having a drink or if we were, you know, getting on it. And, you know, we wanted to change that. We wanted to do something, an event that there was no drugs and no alcohol, and people were just there to have a good time, you know, and we all just like started plotting down like what we want to see there, and just all our hopes and dreams for the block party. And yeah, a few months later, we had our first block party back in 2021, and we've just done our fourth one now. And yeah, it's like, it's another thing that's like, I never would have envisioned this stuff for myself. Like, you know, when I was young, to be throwing block parties here and like, so.
Yeah, and again, bro, like, so chapter 26 is where you're at in life now. Let's take it back, brother. Like, how did this journey start? Like, I'm talking when Sky High, Shantan, all of that, like the beginning of Kobie Dee. Like, let's go back there for a minute. Like, how did this start for you? It
was something that, you know, I didn't show a lot of people, and we started recording, me, my mate Jack Cook, and my mate Bo Foster. And, you know, we had our own little group, Deadly Combination. That was our little group back then. And once we found out that we could record down Redfern Community Centre, we started recording. And one day I got to school, you know, we didn't show too many people our music, but send it to one or two friends, Bluetooth it to each other back on the Nokia phones and that. I got to school one day, and just one of my songs, like one after the other, people going, "Oh, I got your new song, bro." And I was just like, how the fuck are you getting, you know, like, oh, such and such sent it to me. And then before I knew it, everyone had my song on their phone, you know, our song on their phone. And someone put it up on YouTube without even telling me. And then it just like hit, like everyone, like, you know, I'd see people and they'd just start like rapping, you know, like my lyrics. And it was from there that I'm like, fuck, I could actually do something with this, you know. And I started putting that stuff myself on YouTube. And around, I think I was like 15 or 16, I did a Mad Pride show, and Sky High was going to be there. And she was just producing at the time, and she would just kind of coach me through, you know, like writing and delivery and putting words together. You know, I remember she's told me like, you know, words are like puzzles, like, and you got to find that flow, and you got to find that, you know, like, and that stuck with me. I always thought of words as puzzles after that, you know, and like flows of, and coming up with a melody and then fitting the words that fit that melody, like all these things that she taught me at a young age, you know. And that was going good. And then I went into Redfern Community Centre to start recording again. I had 3 songs at the time that actually that was written. I think I was like 19 or 20 at the time, and I'd taken like quite a bit of time away. And Shantan was someone at Heaps Decent. He used to do those music workshops when I was 14. So he used to record my music back when I was 14. Some of my first ever songs that I wrote. And when I went back in at 19, he was in there, and like, you know, familiar face, seen him, Boz, and, you know, I was like, I've got these tracks, like I want to put them down. And he's like, yeah, he's like, good to see ya, you know, like I hadn't seen him in years. And the first song I recorded was Jody. And first song I recorded was Jody, second song was This Life. And he just straight away was just like, you should commit to this stuff. Like you could go somewhere with music. And it was like my first time kind of, I was like, oh like, I do want to do it. But it was just still like a hobby, you know, like I just love to make music, and started doing more studio sessions. And he was like a massive part of my early career, you know, and because Jody, This Life, like these songs wouldn't sound the way they do if it wasn't for Shantan, you know, like he really you know, like worked alongside with me to develop my sound and like, help me find my sound. And again, like a delivery and the way I rapped, and you know, like a lot of these things, like he was like a massive part of that early point in my career. And yeah, from there, like I did Jody for Bars of Steel, and it's just kind of like, yeah, taken off from there.
Their buddy Ben wasn't known to be calm. First person that they thought of when they heard a car alarm.
Now look, brother, like you turned into the warrior you was meant to be, cousin. Chapter 26 is out now. What was the process writing it? Chapter 26. Like again, like did you reflect on some of those moments when you went into this?
Yeah, like I definitely touched in like in moments of that, but it was like each track was just what I was going through at the time and what I felt. Like, you know, Father's Eyes was just a time in my life where, you know, I was a single father, and you know, things were getting hard, and I was starting to doubt myself as a father, and it just come from pure like, this is what I'm feeling, a lot of emotion around this at the moment, and I just want to put this down on the track, you know. Yeah. And so that's where like songs like Father's Eyes come from, and the interlude, you know. And so it's like chapter 26, I do speak about past stuff, but also a lot of it's of how I've been feeling, you know, in these past few years of my life, you know. And a lot of them just came from like, this is what's going on for me at the moment, I just want to put this down, you know. But I do speak about, especially like Reflection, you know, on the last track, you know, I speak about 2019. It was a massive year, you know. Like I signed to Bad Apples, I dropped Jody, I had a daughter, I became a father for the first time, I went to rehab, come out of rehab, you know, like so much happened in 2019, and like to reflect on that, and then to wrap it up, you know, and the last thing that I say is like, I think about the past and how it seems so distant, but one quick mistake could take me back in an instant. Yeah. And that's like, for me, it's like, fuck, if I go back to using, you know, drugs and alcohol as a way to get through things, then I'll just end up straight back to where I was. And now more than ever, like I've got so much going on, you know, so it's like mixing those kinds of things would, you know, be like a catastrophe. Yeah. if that's the word, you know, like I feel that, because it's like I'm at a different point now. I've got different stresses, I've got different just different things that, you know, at that time it was like being young and thinking that the world was fucking ending because of, you know, a breakup, or thinking the world was ending because of this and that, like just different things that were so massive. And then to where now it's like I have so much on the line and I have so much to lose, you know. And it's like that life just doesn't have any benefits for me anymore, you know. So yeah, it was like reflecting on all of that and like how quickly I could go back to that, and just acknowledging what I've got now. So
man, like I feel that, brother. That's why I wrote Coming Home. You know, because like we do this for our families and our kids, and you know, it's like a double-edged sword, brother. Like we're paving the way from them, but it takes us away from them so much. And you know that, you know, we all know what it is, brother. That addiction, that's a lifelong battle, bros. You know what I mean? And I tell people all the time, is like that fight never stops, and you're not always gonna win that fight, but as long as you keep fighting. So, bro, I definitely feel that. Like, that's when I wrote Coming Home, because I'm sitting in a studio like this, and I'm having them thoughts come back, you know? And things are going good. The thoughts are there like, nah, it's too good. You don't deserve it. Fuck it up, you know? And you're battling that, like having them dark moments in your head, and you want to get home to the family. So I can definitely relate to that one, bro. It's just something, you know, we all go through that, and it's hard. Yeah, 100%. Throughout chapter 26, like there's a lot of reflection, and there's also like I listen to it and it's like it's very now, you know, like, and it's, you know, celebrating your wins and looking back on, you know, coming from that circumstance, brother, and you got that pool that for all the times you used to sink and that, or what?
Yeah, nah, that's
at the
common.
house?
That's common. You know, like my mum likes to remind me of that.
Yeah.
Because she's like, yeah, I'll take that 100 now.
Yeah,
I need 100 for my mum.
100 for mum?
Yeah.
$100.
100K. Yeah, $100. Yeah, I'll chuck 100. But nah, like, yeah, that's speaking about like, fuck, wanting to, you know, because I've been at this music stuff for a while now, and it's like, fuck, I really want to create, you know, something that I didn't have when I was young for my kids and for my family, and also give back to my mum, you know, like my mum, no matter what we went through, and no matter where, like, you know, the things that we went through as a family, and, you know, not having my dad around and stuff, you know, like she was always there, you know, and she always made, like, we never had no food in the cupboards. We always had clothes on our back, you know, and home cooked meal every night, you know, like stuff that, you know, I took for granted, you know, and it's like, I want to be able to get to a point where I can repay my mum back in that way, you know, and
Yeah, bro, like chapter 26, when people are listening to this, like, what do you want them to get from it?
it's straight up storytelling stuff, you know,
Yeah.
and it's a story from start, the first song to the last song, you know, and I want people to sit down and listen to, like, you know, the whole EP from start to finish, you know, because I feel like people just don't do that no more, you know.
Yep.
So this one, it's kind of like, this is who I am, this is what I value, these are my stories, here you go, and then now I'm onto some new shit.
Well, nah, brother, look, thanks for taking the time to have a yarn, and again, brothers, like, it's a killer project. You should be proud of yourself, brother. I fucking am. Proud
Thanks,
of you.
bro.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Solid. That's us, lad.
That's right.